Hey there, guys, and welcome to the part one of this series. I'm not going to do anything that most people are used to concerning the YouTube videos about some guy or girl presenting various stuff in his or her collection of music. I wanted to do this video because I have two very good friends, which I call my brothers from another mother. And these two guys I never met in person. One of them lives in United States, and his name is Matt, and the second one is living in Greece, and his name is Kiriakos. So these two guys are one of the most amazing people I ever met in my whole life, and both of them, as much as I do, are huge fans of a band, Manilla Road. So I think we stumbled upon each other on Facebook, being a Manilla Road fans and being on Manilla Road groups or pages or having a comment about Manilla Road. So it was back a couple of years ago when Manilla Road was still a band before, sadly, Mark Shelton passed away. So in today's video I'm going to show you what a true brotherhood means, and to show you the collection I recently gathered, and thanks to Kiriakos, because when my father was recently in Greece and visiting their seaside, Kiriakos took upon him to give him almost the entire vinyl collection of Manilla Road, to give it to me. So let's start from the end. First of all, we have Manilla Road's last studio album. Manilla Road's last studio album is called To Kill a King, and it's a terrific album. I really love this album. It featured the new member, Phil Ross, on bass guitar, also Noidi on drums, Helrodi on vocals, and Mark on vocals and guitars. It's truly a swan song of one of the greatest bands, my personal favorite band of all time, and this album literally is very good goodbye album any band could ever have. So this is from Kiriakos. Then we have Dreams of Eschaton, or Dreams of Ashkaton, depending on who you ask. And even though this album was released in 2016 by High Roller Records, the music on it features songs that would have been Manilla Road's second album back in 1981, but they only demoed it, never released it as an official release. So they did it decades and decades afterwards. This was also from my brother Kiriakos, but this CD version of the same album is mine. I bought it because when High Roller Records released it, I had to have it. Vinyl's a pretty expensive hobby in Serbia, from where I hail, so CDs are always a better and cheaper option. Moving on to the next album. By the way, we're going backwards, and this is also from Kiriakos. This album is Blessed Curse and After the Muse, because it's a double feature. So this album came out in 2015, and it featured their Noidi on drums, of course, and Josh Castillo on bass guitar, and Rody and Mark on vocals and guitars. I forgot to mention that on Dreams of Eschaton, Scott Park on bass guitar and Rick Fisher on drums were involved together with Mark Shelton. Another one from Kiriakos is Mysterium. This album is fucking awesome because it has probably one of my all-time favorite Manilla Road artworks, and this is the first album which features Noidi on drums, and Josh Castillo is there on bass guitar, of course. And this particular release is on transparent clear vinyl, and it's one of those albums you need to hear to believe. It's pretty underrated among hardcore Manilla Road fans, which I heard, but it's far from being bad. The next album we have is Playground of the Damned. Playground of the Damned is Manilla Road's album that came out back in, I don't know, 2011, 2000, yeah, something like that. This album featured E.C. Hellwell on bass guitar, Corey Christner on drums, Vince Goldman on bass guitar in some songs, and Mark Shelton and Rody. And this album was pretty... It's a great artwork, by the way, and it wasn't one of my favorites regarding Manilla Road, but let's face it, Manilla Road doesn't have a bad album. So, not one of my favorites, still a kick-ass album and still recommended. You should check it out, definitely. And also from Kiriakos, then most of this stuff is actually from Kiriakos, but you'll see what I'm talking about, how these two guys interchange with each other regarding myself and my collection. The next album we have is an oldie, but released later. This is their live studio After Midnight album, recorded on air at KMUW Radio Studios in Wichita, Kansas, from which Manilla Road hails, in December of 1979. And this album is truly something that only hardcore fans of Manilla Road should check out, because the songs on this album are not as one who isn't quite introduced to Manilla Road's music wouldn't consider as metal, because these songs are basically some psychedelic, hard rocking, proggy stuff, and it's cool. I love it. Same was on Dreams of Eschaton. So Manilla Road until the 80s began early 80s, 80, 81, 82, didn't bring that epic sound they were famous for afterwards. Also from Kiriakos, one of their often sought albums of the newer era is the Voyager. Voyager is a conceptual album about Vikings and stuff, and it was released back in 2008, I think, yeah. And it features Corey Christner on drums, Harry Patrick on bass guitar, Mark Shelton on vocals. It's pretty dark and hard album. I believe this is, Out of the Abyss was often considered as their hardest and fastest album in the classic period, but this one is definitely the hardest one in their newer period. So, along with, what did I say? I love Mysterium, I love To Kill a King, and I love this one too. So, moving on to next album, which is, yeah, Gates of Fire. This album has an awesome, tremendous cover. Yeah, you see the Conan the Barbarian motif here, and some Roman and Greek, especially Spartans. So, as a musical piece, it is divided in three sections. Each section has three songs, and songs are dedicated to Robert E. Howard's Conan the Barbarian, then a story about Rome, and a story about Spartans. So, I believe Harry, was it Harry Patrick, bass guitarist on this album too? Corey was drummer, I believe, the first one with Corey, and Hellrodian Mark. Awesome album. Riddle of Steel, Behind the Veil, Stand of the Spartans, Epitaph to the King, The Fall of Ilium. You can't go wrong with this album. Maybe, I don't know, one of the best of the newer era. Also from my brother Kiriakos. But my brother Matt sent me the same album, but on a CD. So, this album I have on different releases. High Roller Records on vinyl and Battle Cry Records on CD. The songs are fairly the same. Now we have a special treat. It's the infamous Mark of the Beast. You know, it's pretty much the same as Dreams of Eschaton. Only difference is the artwork, of course, and that Dreams of Eschaton has some bonus material, and I think the track order is different too. Yeah, this one starts with Mark of the Beast, Dreams of Eschaton with Venusian Sea. So, don't look further, this is Manilla Road at their best. Early Manilla Road, Rick Fisher, Scott Park, Mark Shelton. Still not the metal as you know it, but very highly atmospheric, highly psychedelic, proggy. It's slow paced, but it's awesome. I love it. Then we move to the Spiral Castle. Spiral Castle. Oh, I think I can say that this is definitely my favorite Manilla Road album from the new era, from the reformation of Manilla Road, because band didn't do much during the 90s era, so when they released their first album after so many time in early 2000s, this one 2002, I think this one was from 2002 probably. It featured Scott Peters on drums, Brand Patrick on vocals, Mark Anderson on the bass guitar, and Mark Shelton, of course, guitar and vocals. No, I don't want to talk about it. Just listen to it. Find it, buy it, listen to it. This is an epic masterpiece. Enough said. Moving on to the glorious comeback from Manilla Road, and the album is Atlantis Rising. This is the secondary artwork. The primary artwork looks like this, and this is a pictured vinyl. Let me show you. Let's see, and both of these honeys are from Kiriakos again. This guy is Lele Majko. So he sent me those. I don't have a heart to play them yet because I played this CD version that I got from my friend Matt heavily. And you might say now, hey, this Vlad character, he says he's a Manilla Road freak, but he didn't buy anything. I'm sorry, guys. You have to know that Manilla Road is not to be found so easily, especially when you're from Serbia. So I had to collect my Manilla Road albums throughout the years, and most of them are re-releases on a CD, which will be featured in our second part of this video. And the last but not the least is their album called Circus Maximus. Now, this is an interesting story because, first of all, this isn't the original artwork from this album. Original artwork featured some crucified clown and some very abstract things. This wasn't supposed to be Manilla Road at all. This was supposed to be a Mark Shelton's solo project because the music on it is very proggy and it has a bit of a polished production or mix. And it's still good. It's still Mark Shelton on vocals and guitars, and Throne of Blood, for example, is one of those songs when you immediately know that it's Mark. So that's it. Again, Circus Maximus is a gift from Kiriakos. So I want to thank my brother Kiriakos for sending me this awesome collection and being such a sweet dude as he is. And also want to thank my brother Matt for sending those CDs a long time ago. And watch out for the part 2, where I will show you the rest of my Manilla Road collection. Oh yeah, and by the way, also from Kiriakos, this fabulous Omen t-shirt and a lot of stuff more. So guys, check out the next video about Manilla Road. Cheers and see ya.